Hi, how's everyone? I hope I find you all well. Thank you for returning and hello if you are new. We're doing the moon reading today. Moon has moved into Libra for the next 2 days, I believe. We're going to bring up the chart so I can see what else is aspecting the moon in her position in Libra, and we'll get to the cards. So right now, let's see here. I have this for later tomorrow. I'm going to upload this on Saturday night, but the moon is in Libra for about 2 days, so I kind of try to set it for like maybe 12 hours from when I'm going to upload. So let's see, the moon here in Libra, she's caught between the South Node and Lilith in Libra, but they're not conjunct. So the energies are in play, but they're not working together per se. We have a nice trine with Pluto in Aquarius. Okay. Pluto is Hades, the god of the underworld, and he rules Scorpio, the transformer. So there's two aspects of death in the zodiac. And the first one is Saturn as the timekeeper. He is the Grim Reaper. He harvests what is dead, but he brings it to the underworld. And the underworld is ruled by Hades, which is Pluto. And in the underworld, what has been harvested or what has been released, what has been dead, is purified and released. So here we have the moon in the balanced sign of Libra. Libra rules love, beauty, music, aesthetic, diplomacy, justice, peacekeeping, things like that. The moon here, I believe, is a full moon. Okay, the final the final minutes. I know there's degrees in minutes, so we're in the final minutes of a full moon. It was mostly full in Virgo, which really interesting. It Virgo rules like well-being, and it's interesting because we have the well-being card in the spread. So we're coming through into a more emotional feeling for peace and justice and fairness and diplomacy, but also for the beautiful things in life, the loving things in life. We may be feeling a little romantic tonight, which is nice because it wasn't yesterday Valentine's Day. So maybe, this is the kickoff of the Valentine's weekend. People are being romantic, but make sure that there is fairness and justice and diplomacy in that romance. Trining with Pluto in Aquarius. Aquarius rules people in large groups. It's the humanitarian sign, and he rules very high-minded thinking about the collective. Okay, he's also ruled by Uranus. He is the rebel, the eccentric. The Uranus spins sideways, so it always brings some innovation and free thinking into the mix. Now, Pluto here in the sign of the humanitarian is purifying things in the way we relate to each other as a collective. I did do a reading recently that was like, we're in an energy of deciding who gets to sit at the table. And that has kind of to do with Pluto being in Aquarius. There's also some harsh things that have to be released. I'm not going to say harsh things that have to die, but in the ideology of things, there are harsh things that have to die in the way we interact with the collective in the humanitarian aspects. And that right now is in a nice trine with the moon in Libra, the fairness and the justice and diplomacy of equality here. We also have, let me go back to the chart. We have the moon in a nice trine with Jupiter in Gemini, which is nice. Jupiter in Gemini is a very talkative kind of sign. There's a lot of intellectual interaction here. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. Sagittarius is again like a very free thinking energy here. Jupiter is the planet of luck and expansion, generosity, inclusion, um, very fiery, very passionate in his own way. All the fire signs are very passionate in their own way. Um, Aries being ruled by the god of war, Mars. Leo being ruled by the sun or the ego. Sagittarius being ruled by Jupiter, who was Zeus, who was the horny frat boy of the of the mythology. So he's like the wanderer. I call Jupiter the wanderer. He's got a wandering mind, wandering feet, wandering hands, wandering lips, wandering heart, wandering eyes, wandering my everything. He cannot sit still. In the very volatile sign of Gemini, there may be loose lips here. There may be loose lips in more than one way here, especially trine with the moon in romantic Libra. I think that's it. Oh, wait, no, we have a harsh opposition between the moon at 8 degrees Libra and Venus. Oh, Venus at 7 degrees in our opposite sign of Aries. So it's interesting because Venus is Libra's ruler. So our ruling planet is in the house of her lover. Aries, the god of war in mythology, Venus and Aries would affair all the time. Even though Venus was a married goddess, she was married to Hephaestus, but in the grand scheme of the gods, he was not quite the handsome rogue she was attracted to. The old adage, all is fair in love and war, came from these two. So here they are in a harsh opposition. For Venus has just come through Pisces. Pisces is the deep ocean of the subconscious. Venus, as the ruler of Libra, holds the scales of justice, and she has just come through Pisces, which is the deep subconscious. There she was working with Saturn and Neptune, dealing with some things that we have to address within our subconscious, within ourselves. She brought, as the scales of justice, she weighs out our karma. And when she left Pisces, Saturn took over as the karma distributor. Remember, he is a aspect of death. And when something ends, the karma is tabulated. So now she has brought her diplomacy into the sign of Aries. Aries rules the baby ego. Aries energy is very feisty, very optimistic, very driven, very ambitious, but not quite very forward planning. They are the first sign of the zodiac. They have no experience. All they are is they know that the key phrase for Aries is I am. And that's all they know is I am. I am here. I am capable. I am going to do this. So she's kind of bringing a little bit of balance into this fiery aspect of the ego. Chiron is also here. They're not conjunct, but they are in the same sign. And Chiron is a deficiency in our self-worth. So as she creeps up on Chiron, she's going to be bringing a little bit of stability, a little bit of diplomacy, a little bit of softness to how we view our self-worth. That's coming up in the maybe next couple weeks as Venus moves through. So Libra, we've got a lot of energy working in our sign and it with our ruling planets. Now, the moon in Libra being opposite Venus in Aries. Aries' ruler, Mars, is currently retrograde in Cancer. Cancer is the sign that the moon rules. So I don't see any aspect. Well, there's a little bit of a square, but not too much because Mars is at 17 degrees Pisces, or Cancer. And the moon is only at 8. So it's not a quite a square, but it is addressing the fact that they are in opposite signs here. The moon retrograde in Cancer has been really giving us a power drain in our manifesting ability and our energy levels here. Um, Being the ruler in Aries, that is in a square with that Venus in Aries. So there's a little bit of a power drain here. We are feeling maybe a little off balance. Balance is very important to Libra energy, and that's what we're working with so far. So now we're going to go to the tarot. We're using the First Light Tarot, the Tarot of the Divine, and the Celtic Lenormand. And I took the way I do the moon readings is I go through the decks and I find the moon card and I pull what's behind it and what's in front of it. And that gives us insight into what the moon is hiding and illuminating at the same time. So remember, not all messages will resonate for every person. So leave what doesn't resonate now, but keep it in mind because it might make sense at a later time. You are all at different points in the timelines. Like I say, I can read the script, but I can't tell you which character you all individually play or where you choose to stand on the stage, whether you are involved or an observer. I can only read the energies. So let's get to it. So behind the moon in the First Light Tarot, we've got a card called Well-Being. The number is 22, which breaks down to a 4. 4 is like a very nice stable energy. The Four of Wands is that foundation between two people of a bright future. Four of Swords is rest and recovery. Four of Cups is kind of like apathy. It's non-movement in either case. On top of well-being, we have the Three of Cups. So there's something here in the shadow of the moon, because it was behind the card. In the shadow of the moon energy, we have concerns about our well-being within or in conjunction with our friend groups, our community. Okay, this is a card of celebration and consideration and care and joy, but it's with other people. Okay, so since the Three of Cups falls after the Two of Cups, and the Two of Cups is a commitment, the Three of Cups is the celebration of that commitment. Okay, so now we're in the energy, or we're supposed to be addressing the shadow that our well-being is very much wrapped up in our community, our friend group, our family group, who we find solace with, who we find joy with, who we find rest, relaxation, and acceptance with. These are the Asparas. I'm not sure which culture this is, but they're like spirits of celebration. So they're the party girls, okay? They love drink and talk and music and just what's the word? Ease. I heard ease. But in this group, when you're in this group setting, it's like there's no judgment here, which is interesting because Libra is the scales of justice. But there's no judgment here. There's no burdens in this energy. There's no expectations in this energy. The celebration is the fact that you are present, and the people around you in this energy just celebrate the fact that you are all together. That is on top of the card of our well-being. This is accept guidance and enlightenment, awareness, be down to earth, and ground yourselves in this friend group. If it's not a friend group, it could be. They're telling me that if for some of us, because I know recently in the last maybe year or so, people have become in an energy of separating from others who maybe at one time were quote unquote simpatico, but now have found that they are very much opposites, or maybe some hold values or beliefs that are contrary or even dangerous or threatening to how we feel. And now we've begun separating in that energy. Now, some in the collective, this well being, this group that you can find support with is in the spirit world. This is it could be ancestors, it could be deceased friends and family, it could be spirit guides, angels, whatever. There is a slew of different entities in the higher vibration that are always around us. And we will find grounding, awareness, and enlightenment if we tap into that group. Okay? Our well being, the well being card, depends on this Three of Cups, a cooperation and celebration within energies that accept us for who we are and have our best interests in mind. That's in the shadows. So maybe at the moment it feels like that's kind of not being addressed. Now, on the other side of the moon, in the illumination, we have two very contentious cards. We have the card for harmony, which is building bridges and building and repairing bridges, connecting with our higher self, promoting love and joy. And on top of that, we've got the Five of Wands of infighting, arguing, rivalry, and contention. So, like I was talking about in the chart here, we've got the moon, which is the nurturer, in our sign of harmony and balance, but it's in opposition to our ruler in the passionate sign of Aries. Aries' ruler, Mars, is retrograde right now, which means that there is some energies that have been pulled back or are not available. It seems like we're trying to walk a very narrow balance here, and the pulling in opposite directions of needing that harmony, wanting to promote mending bridges, but we're trying to reach out to people who just want to fight. People who just want the rivalry. They just want to argue for arguing's sake. They want to prove their point. In this story, I believe this is five brothers who are all contending for the same inheritance. And it caused not only a fight within the family, but a fight between towns and provinces. So these five princes all ruled different areas, and they were all up for the same inheritance, and they tore the country down with their infighting. When they could have all had a little bit of the inheritance if they had cooperated, if they had worked in an energy of harmonizing themselves and each other, connecting and grounding, and working in an energy of love and joy instead of rivalry, they could have all taken part in the inheritance. But in the fighting, they destroyed each other so that none of them received it. When I asked for some grounding energy of where we could draw strength from the Celtic Lenormand, we got this card for the heart. This is like an open little clam on the shoreline, and it's in the shape of a little heart. This, of course, means love and harmony. So here we've got harmony. This is very Libra energy coming out with the moon card. Harmony, romance, contentment, affection and kindness, emotion and peace. It's emotional fulfillment. If this is a person, we can find this grounding effect in a sincere lover, a positive, kind, and compassionate person. Or that's who we are in the situation. Next to that, we've got the key card. And the key, of course, is an energy of you've got what you need to unlock the secret, okay? The key represents an insight or discovery, a breakthrough, an epiphany, a revelation, and a solution. There is a skill achievement here, and now knowledge is accessible. So there is the key, an element of the key being now accessible in this kind of contentious need for balance. Next, we have the oak tree. Oak tree has been coming out heavy and strong lately. This is promoting the feeling of deep, grounded roots. It is deep, healthy roots and endurance and patience. So, having patience and being grounded is an energy that we need to tap into or that we have at our disposal in order to address these contentious times. Next to that, I dropped 4 instead of 3. Next to that, we've got this card for the ring. This is a commitment. It doesn't matter what kind of commitment. It can be a commitment between friends. It can be a commitment between new allies. This is a card of marriage, yes, and a marriage or a contract, a commitment, also like a pact or a promise or agreement, some kind of oath or alliance. So there is like this coming out underneath here, the 5 of Wands of contention on top of harmony. We've got the ring of alliance. We have to come together and well, I don't say we have to. We are being called to use an energy of putting down the arms, putting down the fighting, coming together in harmony. Okay? That means that both sides have to give a little, but both sides will gain. That's the thing. The contention is coming from the idea that the different actors in the rivalry want all of it, right? But if they can just form some kind of alliance and work building a bridge, everybody will be rewarded with some. But to a lot of people, some isn't enough. They want it all. And here we've got the card of an alliance or a commitment or a contract or an agreement. So this almost feels like what's the word I'm looking for? A truce? I don't want to say a truce because truce to me, it suggests that the it suggests that we just give up the fight, and I don't think that's the solution. I don't. I think that both sides, I hate to say this, but the Libra in me and with the harmony card and everything, um like in the perfect aspects, in the perfect energy here, both sides can stop fighting but see the goal, okay? Unfortunately, um for one side the goal is noble and for one side the goal is greedy. And I don't think there is a way to bridge that gap, right? Because that would mean that both sides have to see each other's perspective. And I don't feel like the ones that are noble need to find the value in being greedy. But I do think that the ones that are being greedy need to find the value in being noble. That's I may be a Libra and I may walk the in between and the fine line, and balance is everything, but sometimes you have to take a stand. Sometimes you have to decide which side of the divide is the one that you know is the noble path. I can't, you know what I mean? I wish I didn't put my 2 cents into it, but I had to. The good thing here is, though, what there is the key coming out. Like I said, this may not even be on a global level. This could be just within your own, each individual little worlds, your own little energy circles. Okay, there's contention here. There needs to be harmony, and in order to bring peace, you're going to have to come to an alliance. All right, because what's not being addressed is our well-being and the well-being of your circle, your support system, the friend group, right? And it's not just the friend group that you go out and have drinks with. It's the they're showing me someone in a hospital bed and the team around them that's working on their well-being, their health, their vitality, their strength, and their survival is that team of nurses, right? There's a doctor, there's a nurse, there's orderlies, there's, the phlebotomist and the CT scanner and the radiologist, and they're all part of that team. They're showing me that for the spiritual aspect of the collective, that you need to work on the well-being in all aspects. So each one of those people they showed me around the bed has a specialty, you know. And the card that is on top of that is the heart. So there has to be some addressing of the well-being of the heart, whether individually or collectively. And the base here is the key, which is an insight or a revelation, and the oak tree, which is the endurance of deep, healthy roots and having patience. We'll go to the bottoms of the decks now. For the first light tarot, the bottom of the deck, we've got vibration. This is positive action. Interact compassionately and vibe high. This also is the golden rule. What's the golden rule? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Now, if you look at the card of vibration, meaning the golden rule, next to this card of contention, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's how things escalate. Okay? If somebody comes in and is naturally in a contentious kind of aggressive energy, you're putting out that you want them to treat you that way. But then when they're treated that way in kind, they get offended. So then their aggression escalates. And you see how that back and forth, when the goal is to bring down the aggression and actually talk. Like I said, unfortunately, there are some stances that should not be placated, and that's where the fighting is coming in. Where there are some people who are so adamant about their side being right when it's not conducive to anybody else receiving anything. That's the key to that story, is that each of these 5 brothers wanted all of it. So the vibration card is an energy that's in the underneath saying, hey, we've got to vibe a little higher than that, and we have to treat each other compassionately, and that means both sides. Underneath that, we've got the card of healing, because like the card is saying, if we can come to some positive action and vibe higher than this, we will all be able to partake in the healing. The healing card says center, prayer, meditation, compassion, and the conscious and unconscious healing in service to others. That's one of the keys down here in the corner. We heal by healing people. We healing other people. Oh, 3, 2, 6. Wow. Okay. We were dealing with Chiron in Aries, and if you go to the Aries reading, I do a whole spiel about Chiron, and the energy of Chiron is that is the position in our chart where there is a wounding we can't heal. But from the mythology, Chiron only was able to heal that in himself by sacrificing to heal someone else, and that's the energy of Chiron in our charts. It's a wounding where we will never heal, but we must reach out and heal it in others. because that will promote us being able to release that wounding. So if we vibe high and treat others accordingly, well, not accordingly, but with compassion, that heals the part of ourselves that wasn't addressed. After that, we've got the portal card, and that creates a new passageway to the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is our fate and our karma coming around to reward us accordingly to how we proceeded in the previous cycle. Underneath that, how is that going to play out? The Justice card. Okay? Remember, Justice Libra is ruled by Venus, and she holds the scales of justice and she tallies up our karma. And then at the end of that, it is dealt accordingly, whether it's good or bad. Underneath the Tarot of the Divine, we've got the Hanged Man in reverse. This is Sleeping Beauty waking up. This is coming out of, I'm sorry, hang on a second. Waiting it out, okay, but in the reverse, shouldn't it be coming out of that waiting period? Oh. Huh. So usually with the Hanged Man in the upright, it's waiting something out in stasis and laying low, but for the reason of gaining inner perspective, okay? In the reverse in this deck, it means willfulness. It means willfully staying out of the fray and languish. It's like kind of like a woe is me card. This is new energy. I've never interpreted the Hangman reversed like that. To me, it was waking up, coming out of the inner. I just drew a blank. Coming out of isolation. But this in reverse means you're willfully staying in it. Somebody's ignoring the inner work. That's what I'm getting from this. Because Pisces, Hanged Man energy is the opposite of Virgo's Hermit energy. Whereas the Hermit goes up to gain a higher perspective, a wider perspective, the Hanged Man goes inward to gain inner perspective. But this is a feeling of staying in there. But yeah, ignoring the inner work because you're in there to do that inner work. Remember Pisces, what I was talking about earlier? Pisces has Saturn and Neptune going through it, which means it's dredging up things from the subconscious that we need to deal with. But Hangman reverse seems to be like we're not addressing those issues. Underneath that, we've got the Hermit. Okay, these are the exact opposites, Virgo and Pisces. They are opposite yet balancing energies. That's amazing. Wow. Let me see what's going on in those two signs real quick. I know we've got Saturn and Neptune in Pisces dredging up things in the subconscious. And then in Virgo, oh, Virgo's pretty clear. Nothing's going on in Virgo. All right. Well, oh, the South Node is there. Oh, South Node moved. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to have to do a reading about that. North Node, South Node just switched. Interesting. Okay, Pisces, Virgo now. All right. So that'll be a reading that'll be coming up in the next couple days. The North Node, South Node has now changed. That's why we've got these two together here. Okay, so that changes things a little bit. North Node, South Node dynamic is the soul's journey. So the North Node is where we're going towards, but the South Node is where we're coming from. So with the North Node in Pisces, the soul group or the collective is in an energy of moving towards a more spiritual and accepting energy, something that is more in tune with the divine, more in tune with empathy and altruism. whereas it's coming from that hermit energy, the Virgo energy, which is sacred service to others, but out of duty and not out of connection. Virgo represents the Vestal virgins of the temple of Vesta, which is the goddess of the home and hearth. They kept the fires burning, but they committed to a life of celibacy in order to serve. So it was the idea of giving up everything about, look at this, their heart with the heart card. They were a group by themselves. Look at those three apsaras. They look like they could, I mean, they don't look like they could be virgins, but it does represent like a feminine group. On top of well-being, the Vestal virgins served at the detriment of their own well-being. That's what's being brought to the surface here in the hidden area of behind the moon. So we've got that north node, south node dynamic. Service to others out of duty instead of connection. So the hermit, excuse me, the hangman reversed in this deck, like I said, was kind of a willful languishing in this in your inner shell, but not doing any of the inner work in order to come out of it. The hermit energy, upright at least, is yes, withdrawal and solitude, but it's for introspection and enlightenment. Okay, this energy, you will be in a better position when you come out of it. Underneath that, God, look at that, 10 of coins, 10 of pentacles. This is the only pentacles energy we have in this reading. So this has something to do with family, family that has grown, family that we've invested in, financial stability, wealth. Yes, legacy. Now remember, wealth means different things to different people. And for some, it can be a lot of money, but it's money in order to take care of others in the long term. It's Capricorn energy. It's distribution of wealth is the energy of Capricorn. This is also the good karma. Remember, being ruled by Saturn, Capricorn does deal with lessons and karma, and this is the good karma. That's the reward at the end of a hard journey, a hard life, working hard. Capricorn energy will work themselves to the grave because that's their love language. They will work to provide for you because that is how they say, you are valuable to me. My work is valuable to you. But the key is, the thing is with Capricorns, especially the masculines, they will work themselves to the grave, and then their soul will be angry that they can't get up and go to work. So there is a lot of work that has been put into this cycle, and at the end of it, the karma that we will reap, you want to make sure that it's positive. Okay, underneath that, we've got judgment in reverse. Judgment in reverse to me represents cycles coming back around. We did have the Wheel of Fortune, and we had a portal. So there is an opportunity for something to come back around for us to readdress. Okay, maybe some of us in the collective. Actually, I feel like it's the ones that we interact with outside of the collective. A cycle is going to come around again for us to address the contention between the two sides. This is, yes, judgment, but it's repeating cycles. It's repeating mistakes. It's having to go back and redo these lessons. Judgment, hang on. The cycles, mistakes, and lessons. It's reflecting. Oh, reflect and forgive yourself. Okay, cycles. Remember, we're dealing with the moon, and the moon does rule the cycles and rhythms of life, which means that things that had gone out come back. and it the cycle comes back around. So this, along with judgment, is saying that we have an opportunity again, because this is not the first time we've had to deal with these energies, that it comes around and we have the opportunity to release ourselves from that wheel. The fate is coming, and we can influence the karma that is dealt to us, the 10 of coins. We can have the 10 of coins. Um, oh, yeah. So the judgment card in the other deck, this is Sun Wukong. He is the Monkey King. There is a plethora of amazing mythology about the Monkey King. I love these stories. Um, In the Judgment card, it is Archangel, I believe it's Gabriel, the Annunciator. He blows the trumpet at the end of all things, and things that had been dead rise from the grave to be judged. Now, that can be souls, but it can also be situations, it can also be ideals and lessons that we didn't learn the last time. Okay, that's why judgment reversed is cycles and mistakes and lessons. Something is coming around that we flunked last time. That's what they're telling me. Because Saturn, the taskmaster, also represents the teacher, the harsh teacher, because he's the one that deals you the karma that you earned. Okay, Libra being the one that weighs the karma, she is impartial. And so is Saturn as the god of death. He is impartial. So it may feel like that's one of the reasons. Two things. They're talking both at the same time here. Two things. Um, Saturn is also represented in the tarot as the Devil card, also Capricorn energy. It's because when we face the karma that we earned, it feels like a punishment, but that's because that's what we earned. So a lot of times that god of death has been turned into a devil in people's eyes, a religion, whatever, because it seems to torment us, but it's because it's the karma that we accrued for ourselves, and that's a harsh thing to have to come to terms with. We did this to ourselves, and that's going to end there with those four cards. Oh, but there is a 10 of coins here. There is that culmination of some wonderful energy for some. The things that you put work into are going to be so good. If that's the positive part of the karma, if we put in the good work on the noble tasks, then the reward at the end will be enough for generations. But if we continue on this path where we're fighting about gaining it all, there's going to be nothing in the end and nobody to enjoy it anyway. That's a harsh one, my goodness. And it's not just for Libras. We all have Libra somewhere in our chart. With the moon in Libra, it does affect the collective altogether. So, um, that's not just for Libras. So we're going to go ahead and get the Ancestor Oracle messages. I hope this is resonating. I hope the messages are reaching you for your highest good. If you are vibing with my content, please take a moment to leave a thumbs up, subscribe, share my video. It helps the algorithm get my content seen. In the description, you'll find my email and donation links. I am available for personal readings and birth chart inquiries. And for any small donation, I would love to do a 3-card thank you spread for you personally as a thank you. Email, Venmo, and Cash App are in the description. I appreciate any and all feedback, signal boost, or donation. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Thank you. Oh, that's too many. Sorry. Please. Oh, do you want me to keep the eagle? Okay, I'll keep eagle. Okay, we've got 2 here. Eagle I like. That's Aquarius energy. What do we have? The first card we dropped is Stag again. Stag came out last time. I like sometimes how Over time, cards will come through and feature themselves for a few weeks and then kind of phase out as new ones come in. I really like that. That illustrates how the energy moves through the timeline. So we have stag energy again. Let's see here. Where are you? Where are the animals? There we go. It says trust and thrive. It says come alive and thrive. Stand in your light and glory with grace and majesty. It says you have an opportunity to thrive here. Trust in all that you have to offer, all of your gifts, your strengths, and power, and make the most of them. You were born to lead, and this can only become reality when you're willing to put yourself in that position of being a leader. Stag energy allows you to feel safe because the antlers keep away anything that could interfere with your intelligence and presence, and that strength gives you the power to be agile in your thinking. You're being encouraged to retain your dignity and be proud of who you are and all that you've accomplished. This in turn will give you even more power to thrive onwards and upwards. Next we have eagle, the eagle eye. It says see from a higher perspective. This is Aquarius energy to me, King of Swords. It says look at things from a different angle. Fly higher and see new possibilities. And that's a problem here because with that hangman in reverse, there's energies at play that just want to languish in I'm not seeing it, I don't want to look at it. I'm turned away from it and I'm staying that way. It says ego medicine swirls around you, encouraging you to recognize that your views or vision may be limited at this time. Is there a chance that is there a chance that your own desperation, needs, or ego could be blocking you from seeing the potential in your current situation? If there are other people involved, you're being guided to see things from everyone's perspective. Oh, I hate that. What was I talking about earlier, especially with the politics, right? There's noble and there's selfish, and it's like the two factions are trying, and we know that the golden rule here is to come together and harmonize, but what some of us are like that hanged man reversed, like I don't want to work with people who want horrible things for others. Okay, I'm going to stop preaching and go back to reading this. If there are other people involved, you're being guided to see things from everyone's perspective. If you're feeling that need for something to change, how can you take the higher road? Know that if you have intentions that aren't for the highest good, speaking to the people who have intentions that are not for the highest good, it will only hold you back. Eagle medicine can help you change this. The eagle brings the energy of healing and love directly from the heart of the Sky Father. Directly from the heart of Father Sky, and invites you to do all things from a place of love. That's the key, man. That group that wants to do things that are not in the highest good, that want to destroy other people because they're fearful of them, that is not walking in an energy of love at all. Okay, let's get some final oracles here, some final little tidbits of advice, and we'll wrap it up. Can you give me some advice or something for Moon and Libra energy for the collective currently? Please, full Moon in Libra. Oh, Hanged Man again. Possum energy. Okay. Maybe not that one. Oh, Hermit energy. Wow, look at that. I will definitely have to do a reading for the North Node, South Node flip because that's the second time the two opposite energies came out. Interesting. Oh, hey there. Yep, poison. I knew it. Oh, oyster. And I think that's the last one I will take. I'll take 3, 3, 3. 11, 11. No. No, I know. I'll regret it. I know. Oof. Yeah, I know. They're so mad. No, I know. I know. So I didn't want to take the 1111 card because that was soulmate energy. So I put it back and I was like, I know I'm going to regret it. So then they dropped the card that said, oof. Okay, cauldron energy. Here we've got something is simmering, stewing, and processing. Let's make sure it's not poison. We've got the poison card here. The situation or something in it is toxic. Negative whisperings, heavy energy is around. Wow, that's interesting. Let's see. We've got be okay with not knowing for sure what might come next, but know that whatever it is, you will be okay. Okay? So then we've got, look at this. We've got the Hanged Man, which is represented by the possum. Don't judge. I drew these. I'm not an artist. Okay, these are crayons and markers. This is the possum, the Hanged Man. It is self-pause and reflection, re-evaluation for a fresh perspective, being peaceful and calm in that meditation, and then coming out with it, we've got the Hermit again. And here we have the Hanged Man and the Hermit together. So I, definitely have to do a North Node, South Node reading here. The Hermit energy again is looking inwards to the divine within and gaining perspective. Oh, chipped cup. Yep, that goes along with the Five of Wands, the fighting and rivalry and stuff. The chipped cup is dissatisfaction and disappointment in the domestic home. Yeah. It's interesting because the other cup card that I have is Chisme, and it's a teacup with a little kitten inside of it. And Chisme card means like getting together with girlfriends and shooting the shit, like getting gossip and networking and things like that. And that is a cup that's filled and whole and is being used in an energy of sharing and joy. But this cup is chipped, and what is in it is pouring out. So there's dissatisfaction here. One good, very good energy here is this big, giant, beautiful oyster. And the oyster card means that a gift from the divine is being prepared, but it's in the divine's timing. This has two energies brought together, the energy of the Wheel of Fortune, which is divine timing, and the Ten of Pentacles, which is a good big reward at the end. So see how big the oyster is in this card? It takes up the whole card. It's because it's been growing for a long time. So hopefully when the cycle ends and we reap our karma, it's going to be something good and prosperous for everyone. The angel number card we have here is 333. Angels and spirit are near you now, quote, we hear you. That's what I have for everyone from Moon and Libra. I'll be back next couple days with a collective read, North Node, South Node reading, and possibly, depending on how I feel, another love reading. They're going pretty well. I'm not having any like elevated views on them, but I'm vibing with working with the fairies again, so we're going to do another love reading in a couple days. See how things have played out after Valentine's Day. So thanks for sticking with me. I hope the messages reached you, and until I see you again in the next couple days, okay, thanks, bye.